I didn't think I'd be having to make this video this early in the year, and then I realized that we're almost halfway through the year and that some of these games are actually very close to coming out. So today we're going to go through my top 5 games for the rest of this year on PSVR2 that I'm so incredibly excited to get my hands on. From flight simulators to time-hopping adventures to horror-focused experiences, it's all here on PSVR2 for the rest of this year, and some of my favorite IPs are getting brought over to the headset. It's going to be an absolute blast for the rest of 2024, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. First up, let's start with one of the more fresh in the mind games, and that is of course Alien Rogue Incursion, a game we know a fair bit about, and I went over the information we do have 2 days ago, so please check out that video if you haven't already. But the short story is, Rogue Incursion is looking to be a great horror-focused Alien game in the realm of, say, Alien Isolation for PSVR2 and other VR headsets. It's going to look absolutely stunning, hopefully, as it's being made in Unreal Engine 5, and if I had to predict when it's coming out, I'd say quite close to the release of the film Alien Romulus, which is coming out nearer the tail end of this year, so I'd imagine the release between these two will be no more than, say, a month to maximize on sales for both the game and the film. It's been 4 years in the making, and hopefully that allows for it to be a fully fleshed out story in the Alien universe that really latches on to the more terrifying aspects of the IP, and hopefully uses the PSVR2 to its fullest extent in terms of features. For example, imagine when you get caught by the xenomorph in an Alien Isolation-esque way, when it punches that hole straight through your forehead horrendously. Imagine the headset haptics going off, or the headset haptics going off when you get jumped on by a facehugger. Or imagine holding the motion tracker and going around a ship and feeling the haptics for every beep. And you'd feel your controller rumble faster and faster as the beep gets closer, as you know an alien is approaching your position. There are so many different opportunities to incorporate amazing features on this headset and of course other headsets. That's why Alien Rogue Incursion is on my top 5 list for anticipated of this year. Next up, I've got to talk about Aces of Thunder, a game that I'm so excited for, just because we don't have a realistic good flight sim in my opinion on PSVR2. I recently tried out Microsoft Flight Simulator on PCVR, and while my rig isn't the most powerful, it can usually run VR games fairly well. However, Flight Sim was more than a match for my PC, and I did get about 30 to 40 frames per second, but man did it look absolutely beautiful even though I was playing in stop motion. That makes me all the more excited for Aces of Thunder, the War Thunder spin-off, because it's going to look hopefully stunning on PSVR2 with some intense air combat focused on the World War II era, I believe, which is really exciting. It's not going to look quite as good as Microsoft Flight Simulator because these are very differently sized studios working on each game, but playing that did get me excited for a non-reprojected, incredibly fun and motion controlled with the Sense controllers flight sim on PSVR2. I've done my fair share of dogfighting on No Man's Sky, but I think Aces of Thunder is just going to nail that feeling of taking another plane out of the sky, watching it tumble to the ground, and making yourself feel sick by doing too many barrel rolls. After not being too enthralled by Project Wingman and loving Ultra Wings 2, even though it was a little cartoony for my taste, Aces of Thunder is the next one up on the platter in terms of flight simulators, and hopefully it lives up to the hype. Not too long in the future, we're also going to be getting our hands on Wanderer: The Fragments of Fate. Coming this way in June, this might be one of my most anticipated VR games of all time. A remake of the original Wanderer on PSVR1, built from the ground up with a brand new movement and physics system plugged straight into Unreal, I believe, called VRAF. It promises to set a new standard for VR in terms of interactions, and my god am I excited for it. All the gameplay we've seen of this game has been absolutely breathtaking. And the standalone comparisons we've got between, say, Quest and PSVR2, even though Quest does look great, PSVR2 just looks absolutely nuts in the fidelity of it all, and I'm so excited to see what Wanderer brings to the table when it heads over to PSVR2 next month. If you have no idea what this game is, I don't want to spoil it too much because, truthfully, I don't want to spoil myself. I know it is a time-hopping adventure where you go between different timelines and play as different characters, but aside from that, I'm in the dark plot-wise. I never played the original, and that is why I'm so excited for this ground-up remake on PSVR2, because I think if they stick the landing here, it not only will make this game one of the best on the platform, but will set up the future for some incredible games because the VRAF framework will be built and other devs can use it, and the same dev team that built Wanderer can use it in the future, ensuring we get more immersive VR games going forward. So there's a couple reasons why I'm really anticipating Fragments of Fate on PSVR2. And the list of 2024 games will not be complete without Skydance's next behemoth of a game. Did you hear my pun? It's not really a pun. The game's called Behemoth, but man, am I excited to check this one out. Keep your eyes peeled for any information about Behemoth over the next couple of months, because things hopefully will start moving in terms of marketing as we get towards the middle to end of the year. And if you have no idea what Behemoth is, think Shadow of the Colossus meets Walking Dead's melee combat. We've only got a CGI trailer to go off at the moment, but from what we can see in it, Behemoth strives to have some great melee combat with sword fighting and special equipment like the grapple hook you can see in the trailer, but also increase the scale of combat massively by having you take on gigantic, well, behemoths. Huge colossi-like creatures that you have to scale, climb, and then defeat, which is just breathtaking. I have no idea how they're going to really scale this between each platform. I have no idea how good it's going to look because we've just seen the CGI trailers here. But as soon as I have my hands on this game and I can show you guys what it's all about, I will be there definitely day one, because I cannot express how much I've wanted a Shadow of the Colossus style game on PSVR2 and in VR in general, and this looks to be the next best thing aside from a full port of Shadow of the Colossus itself. I'm so excited because Skydance just knock out of the park in terms of quality on every single one of their releases. I'm a huge fan of Saints and Sinners and the work they've done on that series, so I'm beyond enthralled to see where they take us in this journey through Behemoth. Keep your eyes peeled for that one over the coming months for any news. And finally, Metro, my beloved Metro series finally getting a standalone VR game. Metro Awakening was announced at the PlayStation Showcase. We haven't got any news since then, but rumor has it another showcase is on the horizon. Perhaps we'll see some more Metro gameplay there, but if you've never heard of Metro before, it's a post-apocalyptic series that takes place in Russia, and the trailer for Awakening looks like it brings all of these scary environments, creatures, and fun but tense combat from the flat screen games and has ported it over to VR with all the same weapons and intricate detail that I love about the series. Trust me, Metro Awakening is going to be one to watch, because if Vertigo pull this off right, which I mean their standard of quality is very high from their previous games, this could be one of the killer apps for VR in general for flat screen fans who love the Metro games. Me being included in that list because I absolutely adore them. It's unclear whether we're going to get an expansive outside location like in the other Metro games, or whether we're going to be confined to the Metro itself, because the games do go above ground, but this is being developed for multiple platforms, so we'll see if they had to scale down the environments. But who knows, we'll see. I'm just excited to get immersed into this world like I never have been able to before, because it's just been through flat screen games. So that is Metro Awakening. Do keep your eye out for it because it looks nuts. Anyway, those are my top 5 games that I'm excited for the rest of this year. Please do let me know if there are any other games I missed on this list that you're absolutely buzzing for in the future. I'm sure I will be excited for them as well, but these are just the top 5 that spring to mind when I think about what I'm excited for the rest of 2024. Despite what some people are saying, we've got a great lineup of games coming to PSVR2 and VR platforms in general, because most of these games are cross-platform. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Thank you to our patrons, Luke Bentley, Phil Irving, Asit Mirza, Ace Gamer, and Hippie Pickle. If you want to join the Patreon, YouTube membership, or Discord, the links are in the description. Feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next one.